I have to mention too, because I'm part of a ministry where I get a lot of messages of people who view shows like ours, other pastors that are out there, and they say, "This is my church, this is my pastor, this is my thing." If you're not a part of the local assembly, who are filled with hypocrites, and they might not have the specific denomination that you want that teaches, 4.5 points of Calvinism or whatever, you are going to struggle. And again, we are to do the command of Christ, which is to be part of the universal church, and we are part of the universal church by joining the local church. And there are good churches and bad churches, but also there are some that we have too much of we need a perfect church. If there's a perfect church, don't join it, because you're going to ruin it. So get to church, please.
So that brings up a question that I have. It's not on my question list here, but how do you find a good church?
Church websites are great. Statement of faith, make sure you agree with it. Make sure they have one. Visit the church. I always say the first thing you can do is look around, and if the men are singing, that is a great sign. If the men are leading, it's an even better sign. Talk to the pastor, talk to the elders. I'm telling you, if even if you're a part of a church and you tell your pastor, "Hey, can I sit down and talk theology with you?" He's glad that you're not like, "My marriage is in desperate need. I'm thinking about leaving my wife. I have left my wife. My children are departing from the faith. Oh, theology? Oh, I can do theology. But this is I'll leave Tuesday nights for the marriage counseling." And so I think that's a good trajectory, at least, to get you on the right path.
I think that's really good. So we moved relatively recently, actually within the last year, from Michigan down to Texas here. And so we had to find a church. We didn't, when we moved here, we hadn't settled on where. I had some things in mind, so I did it pretty much exactly what Patrick suggested here. We looked online, right? And we looked at the doctrinal statement of various churches. I looked at the background of the pastors, where they had gotten their education, that sort of thing. And then we visited various churches so that we could see the preaching and the people and that sort of thing. When we were pretty comfortable with the church, then we invited the pastor and his wife out to dinner so that we could talk to them and find out exactly where their heart was with regard to the Lord. And so, all those things are extremely important in terms of finding a good local church. You want a church that you go to church to worship the Lord and serve his people, right? You serve the Lord through serving his people. So you want a place where worship, the music is good, the preaching, God, God's given us leaders and pastors and teachers to edify the saints. And so you want good biblical expository preaching, and you want a place where people love each other. And, if you can get men singing, that's even better, right?
Even better. Even better. I started myself, just recently started chipping in on this.
The Lord tells us to make a joyful noise, and I am glad every time I read that. Doesn't say it has to be in tune, but joyful noise, I can do that.